everybody, it's Maria, and I just wanted to go ahead and film a kind of soft, subtle glam for the summertime. I wanted to do an emphasis on glowy skin and just something kind of summery, so if you like the look, keep watching. Thanks! Okay, so for today's look, I'm doing more of a soft glam with an emphasis on my skin, and so I already primed my face with my Becca Backlight Priming Filter Primer. So as you can see, it is pretty dewy already. And then in my T-zone, I use the Professional by Benefit. And then I'm going to go in with my Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation stick. And I'm in the shade 118. And I'm going to take the stick and I'm just going to put it in lines going up my face. I'm going to work the foundation in with I'm using my Morphe brush. I got it in a bundle. And it's just a really dense foundation brush. When you're blending your foundation, you want to make sure that you're doing it gently and that you're doing it in upward motions, so that way it doesn't tug on your face downward and bring any premature wrinkles. And you just want to make sure that you're being gentle with your skin. Alright, so it looks pretty blended, so then I'm going to take my beauty blender and I'm just going to pat my face all over just to give it a nice finish. Alrighty, so my foundation is blended in. You can see it is pretty shiny at the moment, but I am going to set it. I am going to do my concealer next, and for my concealer I'm going to be using my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. I am in the color Fair Neutral. I could probably go up a few shades, but this is just what I'm working with right now. I'm going to do a few lines in a triangular shape and then kind of dot my face with it and the other areas. And I'm going to be using my beauty blender to blend it. And as I do this, I'm also, from my under eye area, I'm going to be bringing up the concealer onto my eyelid just to kind of prime it. And when you are blending your concealer, you really want to make sure that you are going in different directions as you blend it, so your concealer can't find its way into any fine lines under your eye. So you don't just want to keep bouncing in this direction, you want to make sure that you're working both ways to avoid any creasing. And alright, after that is blended, I'm actually going to be doing a cream contour today, and for that I'm going to be using my Anastasia cream contour palette in Fair. And I'm going to be using another Morphe brush I got in the same bundle. It's again just a dense little brush. And I'm going to be mixing these two colors because they are pretty gray based and I'm not the biggest fan of a super gray undertone. The way I'm going to be contouring my face, I'm going to be starting at the top of my ear right here, and I'm going to follow the line down. And I'm not going to be going all the way in because I don't want it to be too dramatic today, but I do want a little bit of drama. So I'm going to start up here and just work my way down. And I'm going to start with a line. And then I'm also going to connect the line a little bit and just kind of stay at that part. So I do want it a little bit high. I like that. I don't like to set my cheekbones too low. Alright, I'm going to do the same thing over here. Alrighty, so that looks about even. And then I'm going to take some product on my nose as well. And the way I'm going to do this, I'm going to make a straight line across the tip of my nose, because my nose does come out a little bit. And then I'm going to put just a couple lines down my nose and a little bit up there, but I don't want it to be too drastic. And then I'm going to take the same brush, the same colors, and put a couple lines on the perimeters of my forehead. And then I'm going to blend. And I'm going to be using my same foundation brush for this. And again, you want to be moving towards your hairline, you want to be moving upward while you're blending this out. And then I'm just going to be connecting the contour from my forehead to my cheeks, just so it doesn't look abrupt at all. And then when I am blending my nose, I'm just going to be going straight up and down instead of circles, so that way I don't spread the product too much. I'm just going to be moving it where I want it. First, I'm going to be setting my under eye area, and I'm going to be doing that with my Master Fix powder by Maybelline. I'm just going to shake it a little bit. And then I am going to take my, it's kind of like a knockoff Real Techniques brush. It looks like a blush brush. I got it from TJ Maxx, I believe, for like $3. I'm going to tap off the excess. And I'm just going to swirl it under my eyes. And I'm not going to be doing any flash photography today, so I'm just going to go ahead and use this powder. It does give a really bad flashback, so just be careful with that. I'm really going to be focusing this in my T-zone because I don't mind if the rest of my face looks dewy, but that's like the only place that I get oily ever, so I just want to avoid that. And then to set the cream contour that I did, I'm actually going to be using a bronzer, and I'm going to be using Laguna by NARS. I'm just going to dip in with the same brush. And since this is such a neutral bronzer, I can use it to contour as well. And then I'm just going to blend that out. And I am going to be taking a little bit of the same bronzer on a more dense brush by the same brand. I'm not sure what this brand is. I know it's not Real Techniques. And I'm just going to be taking it down the nose in the same areas that I used the cream contour, and I'm just going to blend it out. Alrighty, and for my blush, I'm going to be using the Jaclyn Hill Becca Split Pan in the shade Amaretto. It's a very neutral blush. I really like it. It goes with basically anything. I'm going to be using my Sephora stippling brush, and I'm just going to swirl that on the cheeks. And when you're doing your blush, a common mistake that a lot of people do is just putting it on the apples of your cheeks. And if you like that look, then all power to you. I don't blame you. I know it was big at one point, but now what you see a lot of people doing is putting it on the cheeks and back because it kind of lifts your face, and so that's what I prefer doing. I just like the effect that it gives. It makes me look a little bit more lively, so I try to do that. And then for my highlight, I'm going to be using Prosecco Pop in my split pan, and I'm going to be using my Dewy Fiber Real Techniques contour brush. And I'm just going to load a little bit on here, and I would like a pretty bold highlight today, just because it's fun. It's summertime. Why not? And then on top of that one, I'm going to go ahead and go into my Jaclyn Hill and Becca Champagne Pop. And it is crushed, so I'm just going to be taking a little bit off the top, loading it into the center of my highlight, and that way I can have something pretty bold. And I like to put a little bit on the tip of my nose, a little bit on the Cupid's bow, and then I take a little bit on my finger and I put it on the bridge of my nose. Just like that. Alrighty, so I believe with that, I'm going to blend it out a little bit. Just with my beauty blender, and I'm pretty happy with how that looks. It looks pretty airbrushed. For my brows, I'm going to be using the Anastasia Brow Definer and Taupe. And the way that I do my brows, first I comb them through into the position that they need to be. And then once I'm happy with how that looks, I actually just comb them up. And I do need to take care of them a little bit, so sorry about that. I'm going to twist it up, and then I'm going to use the skinnier portion of the brow definer to go in and just trace the bottom line. Alrighty, and once I have that line, I go ahead and brush my eyebrows down. I do the same thing on the top. I just trace out that line. Then I go ahead and put them into place, and I just fill them in. Alrighty, so after I fill in my brows, I'm actually going to set them with a clear brow gel, and the one that I use is actually by Anastasia, as most of my brow products are. So I'm just going to comb them through quickly. And I do like them to look a little bit feathered, so I cut, or as much as they can. I really don't have a lot of eyebrow. But I just kind of comb them up a little bit, and then to the side that I would like them to go. And then after that, I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of eyeshadow. I'm going to go in with my Modern Renaissance palette. So I'm going to be using this fluffy brush, and I'm just going to be dipping into Golden Ochre in my transition shade. Alrighty. So I'm just going to kind of buff it into my crease, and I can be kind of messy with it because I don't want it to look too neat. I'm going to dip into it again for the other eye. And again, the way I'm doing this, I am doing it in circular motions toward the outside and then bringing it in like a windshield wiper. Just because I'm doing the circles where I want the most pigment, and then I'm dragging it in to where I don't want as much. Alrighty, so that's where what I'm going to do for my crease. And then I'm going to be dipping into raw sienna down here in the corner. And I'm going to be doing virtually the same thing, but I'm not going to bring it in as far. And I'm going to be using it a little bit on the bottom of my lid. So again, just kind of swirling it around, bringing it in on the lid. And I like how that looks so far. Alrighty, next I'm going to be taking my Glamour Dolls brush in the shade 10. I'm going to work out some previous product. And I'm just going to take it over with almost no product on it. I'm just going to blend it out a little bit. And then I'm going to be dipping into Warm Taupe over here. Just dipping into that. And I'm going to work this really tight into my crease. So I'm not going to be spreading it too far. Just kind of tight. And then I'm going to bring it on to my bottom lid, on the bottom of my lid in the corner. Next I'm going to be taking this Bobbi Brown eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to be dipping it into Golden Ochre again. And I'm going to be putting that all over the lid, just kind of bringing everything together. And then I'm going to be taking the Modern Renaissance brush again, and I'm going to be dipping that into the shade Tempera, which is this white up here. And I'm going to be putting that in the inner corner of my eye, just to kind of give it some life, brighten it up a little bit. And I'm just kind of bringing that out so it blends into the other shades. Then I'm going to be taking Tempera as well, and I'm going to be using the brush that I got in my my Urban Decay Smoky palette. I'm going to be taking the dense end, and I'm just going to be highlighting my brow bone just a bit, nothing too crazy. And then I'm also going to be taking Tempera and putting it on for a pop in my inner corner as well. And then just for an extra touch, I'm going to be taking the color Vermeer right here, this kind of sparkly one. It's a little bit more silvery, and I'm going to be putting that in the inner corner as well, just a little touch. And then for underneath of my eye, I'm going to be taking this Bobbi Brown brush. It's just kind of like a dense flat brush, and I'm going to be dipping into that warm taupe color that we used in the crease, and I'm going to be taking that underneath the eye. And just kind of blending it out, smoking it out a little bit, but not too much. And I'm only going to take that to where my pupil sits. So just about halfway to the eye. And I'm going to actually layer that with raw sienna, that kind of warm brown, just for a little bit extra warmth. And I'm going to be doing that at to the same point. Next I'm going to be doing my eyeliner, and I'm going to do a little bit of a wing today just for some extra drama. And I'm going to be using the Kat Von D tattoo liner in this color Trooper. And I'm just going to do a little bit of a wing. Alrighty, so I did a pretty bold kitten kind of eye. And then for my mascara, I'm going to be using the Benefit Roller Lash. I'm just going to do a quick coat of that. And now all I have to do is my lip color, and I think I'm going to stick with the nude. And I'm actually thinking I'm going to go with the ColourPop, what is it, Be Bad Matte X shade. I think I'm going to go ahead and layer my lipstick with the Marc Jacobs gloss in Sugar Sugar. And here's the finished look. I hope you all enjoyed the look that I did today. It's just kind of a soft, dewy, good for summer kind of look if you're going to try to go out. I hope that you all enjoyed it. If you want me to do any other kind of videos, then please let me know. And I hope you keep watching. Thanks so much.